Nobody move and nobody gets hurt. This is a stick up by Jerry and Adrian, the Legalized Robbery podcast.
With your gracious host, Jerry, and once again joined by the one and only Romanian stallion, Adrian. How are you doing today, sir?
I am obviously blessed, as you can see by the aura I have.
Aura.
Definitely not a light exactly above me, projecting this aura on me. Just my natural aura, but it's now visible. Yes. Uh, I'm good, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing special today. I just worked a bit, and then I played some ping pong, which is good. It's good cardio, you know. I need to go see an accountant to do some more legalized robbery in the sense that, and by that I obviously mean fiscal optimization. Yeah, but
Have you ever heard of the saying that tech companies that have a ping pong table and loads of snacks to distract you from a low wage?
definitely not the case, my friend. But truth be told, we have zero snacks, but we do have coffee
Oh, is it? Okay.
and a ping pong table.
That means
So yeah,
higher likelihood that the wages are right.
yeah, it's the snacks, man. They obviously spend the rest of the money on snacks. It just makes sense.
Exactly. Don't trust the snacks, guys.
Yeah. But yeah, how about you? What's up?
Yeah, man, I've had a good day. My screen randomly broke right before we decided to start this pod, but
That sucks.
yeah, it's all good. Get it fixed. But yeah, all in all, I'm good. I went running yesterday, and I think I did something with my knee. I'm not too sure, so I'm in recovery mode. I'm hoping I'll be okay. Otherwise, it will be all chest, no leg for the next few weeks.
You're gonna have chicken legs. Yeah.
I already got chicken legs, man.
Really?
Yeah. Black people ain't got big legs like that.
What are you talking about, dude?
What are you talking about?
Dude, black
Listen,
people
man,
have legs.
We can go online and check right now. Usain Bolt
Okay.
got chicken legs.
Because he needs them to be fucking fast, not thick.
Yeah, but both Usain Bolt and then what's this guy's name? The Ethiopian dude. I forgot his name. The
I
one
don't know. Whatever.
that broke the
But yeah,
world record the other day.
Okay, it's obviously that in terms of sheer muscle size, although there have been some Mr. Olympia who were black and they had massive legs. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, maybe there's some genetic adaptation in which your legs tends to be skinnier so that you can run from leopards and shit like that. And yeah, we have to live in the mountains, so yeah, it's just natural, dude. It's just natural.
Must have run from leopards and shit. That's hilarious.
Do you know that meme with why would you say something so true yet so controversial?
No, by who is it?
I forgot. I don't know. It's from a movie. It's like it's from a movie, but it's funny.
Well, he says, "Why would you say something so controversial?"
So true yet so controversial. Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
emphasis is on truth because it is true, but yeah, people will be like,
Controversial. Yeah.
yeah.
Arms up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah. Other than that, I've been chill. And yeah, now I'm up here, talking to my digital friends
yes.
that I haven't seen since university.
Yeah. It's dude. It's been 5 years already. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, something like that.
What is time even? You know?
Yeah, it's really relative, man. We will come to that. We will come to that episode where I'll dress up, and we'll do a little Matrix. We'll do a
Dude.
Matrix special.
Fuck,
Wow.
but
Morpheus and you, Neo.
I either need to shave or I need to find a Matrix character with beard. But yeah.
I've got the Morpheus glasses somewhere, so I'll be.
Oh,
I'll be
I
ready.
also have them round ones. I like them a lot.
You do? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be
Yeah.
easy then. Okay.
Yes.
Well, let's tackle some of these topics, some of these juicy topics. We've had an
Yes.
interesting week, to say the least. Um, so potentially some of the worst bleeding in in crypto
It's
last since last month. No, I'm joking. It's
it's it's
quite a deep
it's
end.
the, it's the worst bleeding in multiple asset classes at the same time. I think in the
Yeah,
past few months,
yeah,
because I think yesterday or 2 days ago everything was fucking falling. And I was like, I don't even know what to buy. So I have some money, but I don't even know what to buy because at this point I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck is everything falling? You know?
Yeah,
But yeah.
you buy the dip and then you realize it's dipping further, and yeah,
Hey.
it's just
Yeah.
crazy. You can't time the bottom. But yeah, I did some dip buying. I had to sell a few things to get into position to buy some more. Um, I think I'm positioned pretty okay. Um, but yeah, just to round up all of the topics that we'll discuss today. So we've got the debt default discussion, which is the U.S. debt. There's rumors that they might default when they have to pay their bills in October, just like everybody else, basically. And sort of the future outlook on what will happen. And obviously, this is very important if you're investing in the stock markets, because yeah, this will determine pretty much which way generally stocks will go. Then you
Hmm.
have the Evergrande situation in China, which is the housing company, um, which is the second largest housing company in China, and they have a large amount of debt, also international debt, which is affecting the markets currently. So we'll discuss that. Then we'll discuss Terra, um, the and its coin Luna, and we'll discuss Adi's absolute favorite Cardano and Charles Hoskinson.
Yes.
Then we'll talk a little bit about the SEC and then just our ideas on investing.
Yeah.
So
Go.
yeah, I guess we'll discuss the debt default thing. Now,
Hmm.
I'm no expert in this. Um,
Hmm.
I just know broadly what's going on, which is
Hmm.
the U.S. has a debt ceiling that they themselves determine this, by the way.
Yes, of course.
And they have to negotiate this basically every time they decide to raise it. Now,
Hmm.
because of the pandemic, this debt ceiling has drastically increased, and it sort of came to its limits way quicker than what they originally thought. The problem, however, is is that because Democrats won both the House and the Congress, but they still need the Republicans' um, sort of approval to be able to increase the debt ceiling and then raise those funds to then move on. Now there will be a issue because you don't have bipartisan support, meaning that both parties are supporting this. Potentially, the Republicans still feel a way about um, losing both the House and the Congress. So this will be an opportunity to really for them to really stick a knife into a president they don't like and a party they don't like. And this is why when this whole thing happened, um, when the news came that Democrats won both the House and the Congress, I think it was really telling, and people didn't know what the repercussions of this will be because you in the country you need both parties. It's like I don't know, having a brain and only deciding to use the left side of your brain. You
Hmm.
obviously need both, regardless of whether you agree with conservatives or not. But this didn't happen, so they won both the House and the Senate, and now we will face those issues, and the rest of the stock market will face those issues in that falling out. And what happens usually in this situation is they have this discussion, whether or not to increase the debt ceiling. And either they both agree to increase the debt ceiling and then they can just move on, or they don't agree and then the government actually shuts down. When the government shuts down, this means a lot of things, and particularly markets tank when the government decides to shut down. So this is why it's sort of important as an investor to know, even though it's not something you can directly influence, it's something you can kind of prepare for. A lot of investors decide to take profits. A lot of investors decide to be in a cash position, or increasingly in a cash position. A lot of investors decide to go out completely. So depending on what your strategy is, you should know that this is happening and this is coming soon. I don't think I know the exact date they'll be discussing this, but it will be at the end of the month. So it will surely be at the end of the month. And so this discussion will be really important in figuring out how they'll move forward on that debt ceiling. But most likely they will, or they should increase it. If they don't, Democrats can still decide to raise funds themselves and just go on. So that is also a possibility.
Are you sure about this?
Apparently, it is. Yeah.
The thing is, okay, so sorry, I'm just gonna answer. So what you said I think is correct, because basically my impression was the same. So this is obviously the United States funds their government through debt, because why the fuck wouldn't you, right? Because we are not smart. So well, they are not smart, but neither is Romania for that matter. But yeah, the thing is, you have a debt ceiling which is self-imposed, because obviously you don't want to basically let people just borrow as much as they want, and basically you vote on a debt ceiling, which is fine. And then in last year the debt ceiling was suspended due to COVID, because obviously it's extraordinary measures. It was suspended so they could print whatever the fuck they wanted. So okay, there's that. Now yes, but now after the infrastructure bill and the other things that passed this year, that debt ceiling was raised, and obviously, like you said, they have to vote on whether they are going to lift the debt ceiling or not, to be able to borrow even more money, because they just announced another $3 trillion bill. Because again, why not, when it's free money and you can just do it like that, instead of actually producing it and saving it and then using it like normal people do? But whatever. So from that perspective, this is what's going to happen. I'm not sure exactly where the date is going to be. I think it's going to be, like you said, the end of the month. I think it has to be the end of the month, because that's when the money ends. I think they have like budget for months, and I think it's going to end then. So if they don't raise the debt ceiling, they can't finance themselves. So
Correct.
I'm not sure if the markets will necessarily react negatively. I know usually that markets react positively when there's a political gridlock. In the sense, my understanding of the situation is they're considering bureaucracy and in general over politicization of and over administration of stuff as a positive for the market, because you cannot focus on adding new measures to the market if you're busy fighting each other. So it's like it's a weird capitalistic libertarian feeling of the market. Like, okay, let them fight with their political shit. We're just gonna do what we do best, which is make money. But I'm not sure that's definitely the case. But I know this was the case in certain political gridlocks. I'm not sure if this is one of those, because yes, the government shutting down probably is not the best thing. But then again, if you are a good company and you are making money, why the fuck do you care? But yes, anyways, so this will happen. It's going to be interesting. However, I think that's why I asked you at the beginning. I'm not sure if they have the votes even internally. Like, there are some people, not a lot, in the Democratic Party which are quite fiscally conservative. Obviously, they're a fucking minority, and but if I'm not mistaken, they do not have the majority votes to get this through. So that's interesting. So they didn't even convince their own to do this, let alone convince the Republicans. But I'm not sure if they don't need a bigger majority for this, because I swear I heard some news regarding this, or some interview regarding this, that they need a bigger majority. They also need some Republicans, just even if they have their own votes, but I might be
Mhm.
wrong. But that's what I heard. So that might be the case. So yeah, this is the whole situation. Yeah, dude, the whole thing is weird. Like, uh, honestly, like this whole thing, this new monetary policy ideology is like getting debt to finance your own shit because you're, dude, this is baffling. Like, you expect people to be fiscally efficient and conservative and smart, yet what do? Oh yes, you just borrow. Okay, yeah, I understand. So how does that work again? Tell me, how do you tell people again to be fiscally smart and conservative and not spend money on shit? And then, yeah,
You
I
yourself,
understand.
yeah, it's kind of like, don't, they're not leading by example.
Yes.
But yeah, that's what you can do when you are the most powerful country in the world, or
Oh, but it's not just them.
military.
This is the current status of global fiscal policies. All the countries do this.
Oh yeah, that they raise their debt ceilings. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
So
yeah, but U.S. has the largest debt, right?
no, I think Japan has the largest debt
Oh,
compared
true.
relative to GDP. I think. Yeah,
Relative to GDP. Okay.
Japan
Yeah.
has had some really big problems with debts because, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I read that too. That they had huge debt problems. But
yeah.
yeah. So just to double check and correct what I said earlier. Actually, during shutdowns, the downturns in the past haven't been really that high, and in some cases they're actually gone up a little bit.
In the market.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
stayed
then
pretty. They stayed pretty consistent and stale. Some of them definitely had down days, and obviously, the past is not a perfect measure of the future, but it can approximate what will happen in the future. So it seemed pretty stable, I would say. You
yeah.
definitely won't have a good day on it, but it doesn't seem to be catastrophic either. But then again,
Hmm.
this is unprecedented territory that we're getting into. You have this Evergrande thing, you have inflation fears, you have, so
They
I
have
wouldn't
had
say that either.
the US has had this before. The exact same thing, gridlock if they don't raise the debt ceiling. So it's not the first time they're having it.
No,
So
no, I
yeah.
mean as in this the mix of situations coming together is the first time ever.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's always the
So
first time, the mix of situations. But yeah, yeah, no, you're right, you're right. Some
I
things
guess,
are
yeah.
special.
But in terms of having a global pandemic and
Yes, 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 exactly. I know. I'm just
okay, so then we also have just latching on to that, I guess. We have, or do you want to go on with Terra and then
no, no, no. Let's get through this, and yeah, we can
so,
go to crypto then.
so we have the Evergrande situation, and Evergrande is China's second largest housing company, and they ran into some trouble when there's reason to believe that they wouldn't be able to pay their debt. Um, and the market went in a downward spiral. I mean, it was just crazy. Like things were selling off. Yeah, it was a lot of overselling, and on both parts, it was in the crypto space and also in the stock markets. There was a lot of selling. So the stock market has recovered a little bit. Crypto's still kind of yeah, still kind of bleeding. Because in addition, you also had the Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, speak at Congress on what's going to happen with crypto. So you had, I think, two things that were really driving the market down. Just to give some larger context on Evergrande, Evergrande obviously, like I said, is the second largest housing company in China. They have 300 billion in debt. They actually don't have that much international debt, which is what people initially thought.
Yeah,
Their international debt is only about 20 billion, and the rest of the debt is mainly Chinese.
yeah,
So there there might be a reason to believe that there is quite a lot of overselling happening. So if you are investing in the stock market, now really is the time to be investing. And if you check the fear and greed um, ratio that we the fear and greed meter that we referred to in previous podcasts, you will see that fear is very high right now, and this is the best time to buy. Just to put into context, Evergrande has about 19 to 20 billion of international debt, and the Federal Reserve, however, buys $120 billion worth of bonds every
Yes.
month.
Yes.
So that if you put those things side by side, you realize that okay, something is not adding up because everything is selling off right now. Yet the Fed buys $120 billion worth of bonds every month, and we're fussing over 20 billion in international debt by this Chinese company.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess just to round up again and repeat what I said again, you know, now is the right time to buy, and you can check on the fear and greed meter, and you'll see that it is very close to fear and almost extreme fear as well. And obviously, this is the best time to be buying as a investor because even though it might feel right to buy when the market is at an all-time high, the losses or the risk that you're taking when the market is at an all-time high is way higher than the risk you're taking when the market is going down like this. And what are your thoughts on Evergrande?
Okay, so just I actually did a bit of research, mostly because I think compared to you, I'm much more invested in the Chinese stock market. Like I
Yes.
think maybe like 20-ish% of my portfolio is Chinese, because I think
Damn.
the
Still.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because dude, I think the risk reward ratio is just too good. So yeah, so I was quite interested. It hit the market, even the Chinese ones, relatively hard, but yeah, nothing like 30% drops or shit like that. But it hit like 8% drops, and yeah. But I did a bit of digging. So the thing with Evergrande is actually it's a bit of a complicated story. So yeah, they are a real estate builder, but they do a lot of shady shit. Like, and actually they do a lot of things altogether. So they allow people to buy apartments before they're built. They actually give investment products to people. They do a lot of like just in time building with contractors. Like they start building and they only pay them after a while. Yeah, and there were some protests because a lot of people bought Evergrande, I think obviously as a stock, but some of them even bought like investments from them. And I'm not sure if you knew, but like apartments in Shanghai, they're like $1.5 million. So fucking expensive, dude. You wouldn't fucking expect the prices in the top tier cities in China.
That's like
So yes, they have a fucking housing bubble going on. So
oh yeah.
basically, these guys were taking advantage of this because they're like, oh, everybody needs it. Everybody wants someplace to live. They want to move to the city. Okay, so we'll do this. So they're over leveraged. They're very over leveraged. And one of the reasons I think I haven't went very deep into this, but I think the CCP actually proposed last year or the year before some regulations regarding how leveraged certain entities can be, including them. So I think they had like three steps, the three barriers, and if they hit any of the barriers, I think it's called the 3 points policy or something like that. You're not allowed to get additional either like loans or debt or shit like that. So basically, they hit those. So
So
they're
in
kind
what
of
way did they use leverage? Was it
just over
buy the
leveraged
house?
in, huh?
Was it just to buy extra houses or develop extra? Like, in what way was the leverage used?
I mean, over leveraged in the sense that, for example, okay, you sell a house, but that house isn't ready. So you get the money for that, but instead of using them to actually pay for the building of the house, you use it to fund some other shit. So you're implicitly over leveraged in the sense that you haven't paid for the shit you were paid for, you know?
Gotcha.
So it's like having a mortgage on your house and then buying some extra shit with the house, like some serious financial complicated stuff they were doing. But yes, at the 300 billion level. So yeah, that's like the main thing. It's like it's a complex problem, but it's almost like a controlled demolition. I'm not sure if it was 100% intentional, but the CCP imposed these rules, and now basically they're abiding by it. And some people were saying that they might salvage what is wrong with Evergrande, but they might not keep the company alive. And a lot of people were talking about versus the 2008 housing crisis or financial crisis based from the housing crisis, if they learned anything from it. And if they did, this might not be a bad way to solve them. So basically, what they're trying to do is not bail out the company just to fucking keep it alive, but basically they will try to like buy the contracts to build the properties and buy the investment grade assets and shit like that. So yeah, it's at the surface it's just a company crashing whatever, but there are very very deep nuances inside. But yeah, the markets reacted interestingly to it, obviously negatively. But yeah, like you said, the spillover effect from China into other markets is super limited. Like there's
Yeah.
almost no correlation. Like when when uh when this thing hit, basically yesterday or 2 days ago, I was down like 5% on my stock positions, and I was like, why? Like, okay, I get
Yeah.
market volatility, I get that people are afraid, and like, but still, why? Like, what the fuck does this have to do with Amazon? Like, are people not gonna buy fucking Amazon because some guy doesn't have did a bad investment with a house in Asia or in China? I mean, like, this is zero correlation, you know. So yeah, from that perspective, it might be like financial tension, but there are no direct implications for Amazon, for example, or Western companies to begin with.
I think it's just the lack of clarity between how much money um, Western investors actually have in a Chinese company like this.
The
But
stock already dumped 80%. Whatever they had, they have 80% less now. So fuck that shit.
yeah, yeah,
Like, again, whatever. Yeah.
overselling for sure.
I think it's
Um,
overselling in overseas market, even in the Chinese ones. Like maybe in Chinese it's is okay because they have systemic risk, but U.S. markets or Europe, dude. Like I had some shit from Germany that from the DAX index, they were down like 5%. I was like, Porsche. What does Porsche have to do with this? Okay,
yeah,
Volkswagen has a companion firm in China, but
I think you're saying that a little bit too lightly because if Evergrande really does go bust, um, it would have some implications. Probably not as big as the market or how the market responded to it, but it has some implication. The same way that the housing crisis in 2008 had some implication for the rest of the markets. But you could say that there's way more outside investment coming into America than there is outside investment coming into China. So
yeah.
you cannot make direct comparisons. But I would say that there's some correlation there. But it is true that it's definitely overblown. And even if they do go bust, if they go to zero, I don't think the market over here should crash or
It's
something like that.
no, it's not about that. So the problem with that is it's just systemic risk. So the thing with Evergrande is that obviously they are interconnected with the banks because you can't even like you don't have the cash flow for 300 billion. Like you need the cash flow from somewhere,
Yeah,
and a lot of that comes from banks. So it's systemic risk, but again, it's Chinese systemic risk. Like China is one of the most isolated markets in the world. From that perspective, the good or the bad part about it is it won't hit us that much.
yeah,
Hit whoever us is, you know. So all I'm saying is that yeah, we won't have a 30% drop here because of Evergrande because it's not warranted. There's no correlation in terms of the risk. So yeah, we might have some volatility, especially with the FMOC meeting and the debt ceiling. Sure, there's extra volatility in the market right now, but I don't think Evergrande is actually a risk for the overall markets in Europe or America.
yeah. Well said. That it's one of the most isolated markets. Therefore, the
Yeah,
risk shouldn't be that high. So I
yeah,
agree for the most part. Yeah. So you also wanted to talk about Luna and Terra, which is one of
yes.
our favorite coins. And if you're looking to invest or ape into any particular project, I would definitely say check out the Terra and Luna project. But yeah, the floor's yours.
Here it goes. So yeah, when the first time I heard about Terra, I started digging in and I was like, dude, like almost everything these guys do is fucking brilliant. Like, dude, they're so smart, you know? I was reading about their project and sub projects and their partners. I was like, dude, this is magnificent. Like, it's fucking genius, dude. It's genius. And yeah, I'm gonna go deeper into it. So just as a sort of backstory, and I'll tell you, this is one of the best backstories for crypto I've heard. You know, so this is no cypherpunk geeks or people mining in their mother's bedroom. You know, these are some people from Korea, obviously South Korea, which were like, dude, fuck these payment companies and their fees because they're super high. We're gonna build our own payment company on crypto. Wow, good idea, right? And actually, in a nutshell, they rolled out this payment solution which has super low fees. So it has start fees starting with 0.5% to 2%. I haven't read why those tiers are, but for example, Amazon, Stripe, PayPal, whatever your payment provider is, I know because I've implemented a lot of them, they charge 1.5, 2%, 3%, 3.5%. So from that perspective, they have super low fees and they have blockchain settlement. And basically, they have like their payment solution isolated and you can use it. I don't think you even know if it's crypto or not. I think you can on ramp and off ramp instantly, which is super interesting. But yeah, that's what I said. It's one of the best startup stories because you started from a problem and you created a solution in a superior tech stack. That is amazing, dude. Like honestly, from that perspective, they're a winner. Like they achieved what they wanted to, and they're actually quite big in Korea and in some other Asian countries. So there's that. And yeah, a lot of their team is Korean, and the guy who created it, who is the founder, is a super nice guy. He's been implicated in a lot of crypto projects. He's a super knowledgeable guy. He has conferences and shit. He's really cool. I actually listened to some of his stuff. Just first off, it's a proof of stake network, which is nice. As we all know, proof of stake means decentralization. It means that you don't need to, use electricity to create coins. You can basically use validator nodes. Now, the problem, just like we had the backstory a bit with Solana, is it's not very decentralized in the sense that it could have a similar problem to Solana in the sense that they don't have a lot of validator nodes, and they're probably also concentrated. Now, again, it all depends. To a certain extent, it kind of makes sense because if they started this solution as an in-house solution for a problem, decentralization wasn't necessarily the first thing they were thinking about.
No.
But they're going into that direction from that perspective. They're trying to expand the decentralization ratio of the platform. So yeah, that's cool. So it's also built on the Cosmos ecosystem, which Cosmos is a combination of a programming language. It's like a framework. It's like Rails for creating blockchains. That is interesting because I actually have my notes here, but I need to find them. It basically allows interchain operability with other chains that are built on the Cosmos ecosystem.
Yes.
Which is super interesting because that means it opens. This is this is one of the few ecosystems in crypto which makes sense as a basis for the next internet framework, because one of the things you have in the internet is basically a collection of protocols, and it's super awesome. It's like that because if we each wanted to do things our way, we could never find ways to intercooperate and communicate. So the fact that there are multiple successful cryptos built on the Cosmos ecosystem is super bullish, because that means you can build on one of them and they have some super nice interoperability in which you can transfer stuff, and they're just built to network better than, for example, a random ecosystem and another random token and then another random token.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing with Cosmos is also that it allows you, compared to other blockchains, it allows you to conveniently build and ship,
Yeah,
um,
of course.
because you don't have to adhere as closely to its rules as you do on Solana, Ethereum, Polkadot, and so forth. Apparently, so
Yeah,
from what I understood from reading about it, yeah,
yeah. Okay, so this was like kind of a backstory. Now we get into the more interesting things. So first off, uh, the kind of three main products the crypto chain has is its stable coins, Anchor, and Mirror protocols. So basically, the thing with the stable coins is, and when I heard this, I was like, dude, this is such a simple idea, but it's so fucking genius. Like, I'm not sure if the people listening to this understand stable coins, know how they operate, how they work, what the risks are. But just to make like a short conclusion, currently stable coins are supposedly backed by the same amount of fiat money as there is in circulation. Now, the $1 million question is what kind of fiat money? And some of them have debts, some of them have collaterals. It's like a matryoshka doll of complications, and most of them have some systemic risk. For example, even with USDT, I heard they have some Chinese debt. So regarding Evergrande, you might see a situation where USDT might be in a bit of problems just because of this.
yeah,
But yeah, sorry, if you want to say something here.
yeah. I think you said Mirror is a stable coin.
No.
And
I said no. It's their stablecoin principle, Mirror, and Anchor protocol.
oh, my bad. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mirror is a project
Yes.
that's I think it reflects different real world assets such as stocks,
Yes,
and it
I'll
allows you
talk
to
about them.
then. Sorry.
I'll talk about them because actually it's part of my
Oh, it's part of your. Okay, okay, okay.
yes. Because yeah, I'll get there. But yeah, so first
Mhm.
off, let's talk about the stable coins. So why I said this is one of the most genius ideas ever is because they were like, dude, we're not gonna buy billions of dollars. People don't want to buy dollars. Like it's one of the reasons why we have cryptos. You don't want fiat currency. However, these mainstream currencies they provide like a guideline, like a basis. You know where you are based on them, right? And most of the things we actually buy are priced in them. So you always need this. So yeah, there is room for stable coins. However, buying dollars to have dollars in crypto it's like having dollars, so why the fuck would you do it? So they were like, no, hold up, we have this algorithmic idea in which when you fucking want to buy dollars we will have this asset which we algorithmically control by burning or minting our own coin. So in a way, if you want to think about it, is if the dollar is going down, they're going to buy dollars with Luna, and if the dollar is going up, they're going to sell Luna to buy dollars. So it's algorithmically stable coin, which means they don't have to buy any dollars, euros, whatever, right? This has allowed them to create this kind of stable coins in multiple currencies. Like they have Chinese yuan, they have euros, they have dollars, they have, and one of the more interesting one is they have this currency which is a basket of I think the biggest six currencies in the world. So yeah, that's also super interesting. But and again, the best part about it is that it is algorithmically generated.
Yeah. So just to sort of build on what you said. In addition, I think this the simplest way to put it for people is that Terra has two coins. And now you ask yourself the question, why does it have two coins? And that's what really makes it unique, like Adi said.
It
They,
doesn't have two coins. It has the main coin and then the stable coins because they operate the same actually.
yeah, but it is two coins from the same sort of source or
What do you mean?
group of people. As in, they created two coins. They created the stable coin and Luna.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't have just one stable coin. They have multiple of them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but no, like, who is really paying attention to the other ones? There's really only
Oh,
these two that exist. I get what you're saying, but
actually,
just for somebody that is starting, I don't think they would notice unless you're in Korea or something like that.
that's what.
Maybe.
Sorry, that's what I wanted to say. Actually, the first stable coins that they created was the Korean one because that's the one they needed actually, right?
Oh, okay,
So
okay, yeah,
that was
yeah,
the first. That was again, dude. Seriously, having a problem, proof of concept,
yeah.
solving it, and then expanding. So it's fucking it, dude. It's one of the best projects. Sorry, yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead with the
No,
stablecoin.
yeah, but I meant as in for somebody like that is from
Yes.
the
Okay.
UK, from the US, like what is relevant to you, and what is relevant to you is that what you will be first a little bit confused by is that they do have two things, and they always mention Terra and Luna, and this is why I wanted to put it that way. If
Yeah.
I tried to explain it in such a way where I said, oh, there's 7 coins, it would be even
Yes. Yes.
more
Okay. Okay.
confusing. I'm trying to explain it from a way that uh, me when I first got into it, what would have been the way that I would have understood it
Got it. Got it. Got it.
quickest?
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
Um, and the way I would have understood it the quickest is that they basically created 2 coins. Obviously, they have other coins that are
Yes. Yes. Yes.
in other languages, but those 2 coins, relevant to me at least,
Mm-hmm.
are the interesting ones. And what's happening is that they created those two as an answer to the crypto industry's reliance on Tether and USD coin. And Tether has all sorts of issues in terms of its financial auditing, whether or not they really have that amount of money. They also there's also claims that there's money printing happening and so forth. So I think it was really smart of them to create a coin that is then interacting with another coin basically. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
unique proposition because what happens is that Luna absorbs volatility from Terra.
Yes. Yes.
Don't you think that is genius?
It
That
is genius, dude. It's
like
quite genius.
it absorbs the volatility of Terra. Now, this doesn't mean that Terra can't go down, but it means that it balances it very well compared to other coins. And the way to think of the the process of burning one when the other is being used and so forth is almost like with stocks having a share buyback program that where a company decides to buy back its own shares.
Yes.
It
Yes.
decreases the amount of shares that are on the public markets and then increases the value, therefore, for the shareholder because now there's less of those.
Yes.
And
So
meaning scarcity will make it then more valuable. And what's cool is that it generates the other. So Luna is a sort of stabilizing mechanism.
yeah, exactly. So this is so again in crypto this is called burning and minting. Minting is the process of creating new coins, and
Yeah.
burning is the process of burning new coins, like destroying, and minting is creating them. So
Yes.
basically, it's like a balance. So when there is high pressure to buy UST, it's called UST.
Yeah.
Uh, they will basically create new USD by burning Luna. When there isn't, there's pressure to sell USD. They will buy those USD and mint Luna. So it's an interesting balancing mechanism. My question is, it's actually I'm kind of curious. What happens if the pressure to buy USD is so big that they cannot burn anymore? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a
Maybe they have a
possibility.
fixed amount that where the burning stops potentially.
Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, the
Yeah.
like one of the main propositions here, and again, sorry, just to say, this happens for all their stable currencies. So they do the same thing with Luna being the counterweight for all of their stable currencies, which is super cool. But basically, this makes Luna a token in which, if they get adoption for their stable coins, basically you're holding on a deflation, super deflationary token. It's probably one of the most deflationary tokens. while being able to do a lot of shit with it. So
Yeah.
it's super interesting, dude. It's like having an asset which gets used if the other assets in the ecosystem get used, and you basically your wealth just increases if those things are used. So yeah, overall, this whole thing with the stable coins is seriously genius level smart. I loved it. So for the first time I heard it, I just loved it.
Yeah, it
Now,
is pretty genius.
yes. Their main other two products, like I said, are Anchor, which is a DeFi product, and Mirror Protocol. Anchor is a basic DeFi product, which again, it's part of the ecosystem, which makes everything better. Because again, like we said, in Luna is if it moves any amount of money, you are making money because they're burning Luna. So again, it's smart. So yes, with Anchor Protocol, it's a basic DeFi. You can stake, you can borrow, you can lend, you can liquidity provide on it, which is super
One
cool.
one thing is very important to mention with Anchor, which is really impressive actually. They have been able to offer 20%
Yes,
APY fixed.
yes,
Fixed.
and fixed. But that's the thing; they actually make more. And yeah, what they do is they actually stake the assets you are borrowing, right? And you're not you are borrowing, you are collateralizing because you
Otherwise,
have to collateralize assets in order to borrow, right? So it's like they get 12% from the staking of those. And basically the other thing is provided by the network because they generate revenue through the lending, right? And the fees.
yeah. Yeah, the
So
first thing you think though when you hear something like that, like like fixed APY, because most of all of DeFi is variable APY, meaning it could be one thing today, it could be another thing tomorrow, basically. So the first thing when you think when you hear 20% APY fixed, that it's some kind of Ponzi scheme or something.
yeah.
I honestly I cannot actually explain how they can really do this 20% APY fixed. I know you just gave the explanation that they're staking
Yeah.
um,
So
collateralized
again,
money, but that still sort of leaves a few questions open. I
but
think what's happening in the background is some type of equity issuance um, that allows them to do that. That would, you know, at
no,
least from
but
the way
think,
I understood it.
so think about it. You can borrow up to 40% of your Luna. So basically that means that your Luna is already producing 12%. If you're buying half of that, that means it's producing 24%, right? Because you can borrow up to half, up to 40%. So the reason they can do it is because your asset, them staking it, generates more money than they're giving to you.
Yeah, but the problem is still like how can it generate 20% APY for them? Why can everybody else not do that? Because they're still getting money in as well. And that's why I'm
Because
saying it's equity issuance
because
most
you're not.
likely.
So, dude, no, dude, listen. You have 100% of your Luna, okay? That provides 12% return a year by staking. Good?
Yeah, but where do
If
they get the money from is what I'm saying. It's not
by
just
staking it themselves, they stake it
who do they
after
stake
you.
it to?
They stake it to the network. Who do you mean? Who do they stake it to? They don't lend it. They stake it to the network. It's
What
network
I'm saying
staking,
is what I'm
proof
saying
of
is
stake.
what makes it fixed. It has to be outside investment. It has to be some type of
Listen,
investor.
my friend. Listen. If 100% of your Luna produces 12% and you can borrow only up to 40% of your
Why
collateral
why isn't anybody else doing it then?
because they didn't think of it, obviously. But this is
That makes no sense. I'm sorry. That
but
makes no
dude,
sense.
but can you understand the fact that you have 100% Luna,
Yeah,
you
but can
stake
you
it?
understand the fact that they also have equity issuance, which means
I don't think they do.
that they're getting yes they do.
I didn't read
I actually
about this.
noted it. I actually noted it when I was doing my research, and they were saying,
Anyways,
and I think the guy on the team was saying that they do equity issuance because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. I get what you're saying. That probably is half the story, but you don't get 20% fixed
dude,
permanently
dude,
without outside
my friend,
investment. That is
my
not
friend,
possible.
listen. You get 12% staking reward
Listen, I will quote you, and I will send.
Okay,
I will
okay, okay,
send the
okay,
quote to
okay,
you
okay. We'll
where they say
verify
that
if
they
this
use
is the case.
equity issuance.
Okay, okay, okay. Fine. Whatever. We'll leave this. The bottom line is it's DeFi. I think I'm right with this. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, no,
Uh,
you're right. But what I'm saying is, it's not. That's not the end of it. It is also equity issuance.
okay,
What I'm saying.
we can check
Yeah.
that. Whatever. This is Anchor Protocol. It's basic DeFi. Again, the best part about it is that it utilizes the Luna ecosystem as well. So basically, any money moved here, you're getting some cut of that. The other one, sorry, this is Anchor. The other one is Mirror Protocol, which Mirror Protocol is again super fucking smart. Like you said, I don't know why other people don't do this, but it's super fucking smart. Mirror Protocol is basically there are other tokens like them. They're called synthetics. Basically, they are used to mirror real life assets in a blockchain context. There have been other, for example, platforms who do like collateralized stocks. For example, like they literally buy the stock themselves as a company, and then they let you trade it on the blockchain. That's fine. But what these guys do, just like with the money, because they're next level thinking, they're like, if you just want to fucking trade an asset, you don't have to have it. If you just want to speculate on the price, we can do that. Now, how do they do that? For example, I wanna make a synthetic out of a Tesla stock. Let's say a Tesla stock is $1,000. They make me put $1,500 as collateral, and they wrap this into a wrapped token and give me the said synthetic stock. Now they use Oracle, real life oracles, to provide prices for this. So the prices will always be one to one with the market, right?
Are those
But
oracles? Is that Oracle Chainlink? Is that
I'm not
involved?
sure. I'm not sure. I didn't go so in depth, but they
Okay.
used oracles for market data. The idea is that you create a synthetic by providing over collateral for it, and what happens is you can trade that synthetic onwards. If by any means that price goes up and sorry, you cannot give the collateral to keep it going at this 150% rate, it's like getting margin call, and basically your synthetic stock gets liquidated. But the best part about it is that you can trade it. So, for example, I want to create a synthetic Tesla stock at the current market price, and I'm like, yeah, I think Tesla's gonna go up, Jerry. Do you want to buy it? And you're like, yeah, sure, why not? I want to buy it. And then you buy it, and then you have the synthetic stock with the collateral to it. So basically, it's like passing on a tradable asset, which mimics a real life asset, which you can trade. Again, it's kind of smart. It's kind of smart, and the network always assures that you can back it up. And if you ever try to dissolve it, you have to have the liquidity in order to dissolve it, to destroy the asset. Again, it's a super smart way to avoid some fuckery from the real world, you know? Again, dude, super smart.
Yeah, the real life use of, like, say, a mirror protocol is, for example, and this is something they mention themselves, is people, for example, in Thailand wanting to trade stocks but not having access to any of these brokerages because they're not available in Thailand. Like they just
Yes.
haven't branched out into those countries. Well, with the Mirror Protocol, they can, just by holding a UST from Terra. They can then go on to Mirror Protocol and then be able to trade all of these stocks that they wouldn't be able to trade. And it's not, it wouldn't be considered stocks themselves. It would be like a reflection or copy of that, and it
Exactly.
copies all of those movements. So in the end, if what you want is just the cash in the end, obviously we all do it to have the returns and the profit.
Obviously, yeah,
You can do it this way, and that's what's so genius about it, really.
exactly.
And it speaks to Terra that a project like that was possible to be built on it. Speaks good things of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not just stocks, dude. Like theoretically, if you have access to an API to an Oracle, you can collateralize anything. You can
Yeah,
collateralize your car. You can collateralize commodities. You can collateralize everything you want. So, dude, it's like super, super smart. Like literally, it's like think of a world where you have access to a replica of any stock in the world. Like for example, you can't buy Chinese stocks. You can't buy stocks from Zimbabwe or whatever or some other countries, but you
damn.
can.
So what is the actual list? Do they have more than, say, trading 212?
I don't know because honestly, I never. Yeah, I've seen their assets,
So I
but
have to think.
I never tried.
You have
But
to
the
think
thing
about it
is,
now.
yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Now, obviously, the whole thing, the problem is that you do not own the underlying asset because
Yeah,
there
that's
is
fine.
no underlying asset, but you own the financial value of that asset, which is interesting. Anyways, yeah, this is mirror protocol, obviously, dude, super, super interesting. And I've seen some other solutions from them. I didn't prepare them for this podcast, but all of them are exactly this kind of mindset. Like you look at them and you think, why hasn't nobody done this? Like
Yeah,
these are smart shit to do, man. Like yeah. And yeah, lastly, like I said, one of the negative aspects about it is that it's not super decentralized because yeah, they started it in house. They try to decentralize it probably, but yeah, probably it's somewhat centralized. And in terms of transaction per second, they have from 1,000 to 10,000. Like they had some peaks with 10,000. So that's not bad. That's a decent TPS if you ask me, right? It's no Solana, but it's decent TPS. It's definitely functionable, you know?
they have 1.8 billion in value locked.
Yes.
Liquidity 800 million.
TVL for what? For their anchor?
For Mirror,
Oh, for Mirror. Okay, yeah,
that's a
yeah.
lot.
Yes, but the whole chain is worth quite a lot, so it's not bad. It's not bad, but yeah,
I'm just checking all the stuff that they've got.
yeah. But dude, definitely it's super interesting, dude. It's super interesting. It's one of the most algorithmically interesting projects. Like for me, in terms of trying to get shit algorithmically, not through other means, is up there with Algorand. You know, they're focusing very much on thinking about smart solutions without providing real life uh, equivalent, which is interesting to say the least.
Absolutely.
So yeah, anything else you want to add with Luna?
No, I was just looking at the Mirror Protocol. It doesn't have that many
Yes, it
stocks,
doesn't have a lot of them, but yeah.
but it's definitely a step in the right direction. Um, I think one really interesting thing that you might have not known is that a little bit of a meta view on this whole thing is that even though we are very much hyping up Luna and Terra here, it turns out Cosmos, which Luna and Terra is built on, has a lower market cap
Of
than
course.
Terra and Luna.
Yes, yes, because again, it itself is just the rails. So I think
Yeah, but why would you say of course? This is what annoys me with you. Why would you say of course? That's like saying a project on Ethereum is worth more than it, and then you're like, yeah, of course. No, it's not of course.
okay,
It's
okay,
not obvious either.
okay.
That is
but
actually very unusual.
but I mean, yes and no. For example, I'll just give you a stupid example. Think of the Oracle Foundation, which creates the Java language.
Yes.
The Java project itself is not worth a lot. The applications built on Java are worth exponentially more.
Yes,
So all I,
that's a great point. But how do you explain then Ethereum being the most being the most worthy of, in terms of value, a
I
project?
don't I don't because I don't think so. So from that perspective, I think Ethereum is an anomaly. I think Ethereum just has first mover advantage.
But what about BTC? What about a lot of the other coins? It's the same thing.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the anomaly about that?
I
It's the
don't
other
think
way
it.
around. It's Atom is most likely and Luna is most likely um, the anomaly. The thing with JavaScript, I get what you're saying, but
Java, not JavaScript.
the,
Okay.
sorry about Java. The difference is that a programming language is hard to patent because you want people to use it. You know, I guess you can say this about WordPress and allowing WordPress to create all of these companies on there. I do wonder though, how much is WordPress worth?
I don't think WordPress is tradable, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it's owned by some large conglomerate,
Yeah,
if I'm not
my,
mistaken.
yeah, 40% of all of the world's websites is
Yes,
on
yes.
there. True. Yeah. So in that regard, it's actually interesting that
Yeah.
because
No. Again, no. Okay. My of course was, like you said, probably not the best use of the word. Of course, I was saying of course in the sense that I knew this was the case. Sorry for, but yes, usually,
okay, yeah.
but
I don't want
the
people
slight
getting the
difference.
idea that this is perfectly normal.
But there is a slight difference. Like the Cosmos, like at this point, I'm not sure exactly how much Luna is dependent on the Cosmos ecosystem as the other chains are dependent on the Ethereum blockchain. Because it's not the same thing, it's not the same relationship. I think
Right.
Cosmos is just the framework through which you build your own blockchain. But if Cosmos dies, Luna can survive. That's not true for the other Ethereum projects. If Ethereum dies, they all die,
Interesting, because
right?
if you remember this last few weeks, Luna was actually, I mean, it was running up, but then it sort of cooled down. But then Cosmos did
Yes.
a crazy run from like
Yeah.
$20 all the way to like it doubled. So it was almost like it was catching up with its importance relative to Luna, and
Yep.
that's the perception that I had, and I was like, how did I miss that? You know what I mean?
I actually haven't read about Cosmos, so I heard about it. I heard about multiple projects using them. I'm not sure what it's used for. Like, because
Obviously, to make great shit like Terra and Luna.
sure, but why will it value? Why will its value go up? That I don't know yet. So I'll probably do some research because it's obvious, like you said, it's obviously useful, but I need to know more. I haven't
Yeah,
done any research on them.
but that's all I wanted to say on that. That
Yes.
because when I heard that, at least to me, that wasn't that was surprising, and I was wondering what was going on, and then it was just after I learned that, and Cosmos started to run, and that's when I was like, okay, maybe I should be paying more attention to this kind of thing.
Just to be clear here, there's a difference between a framework, a tool set, an ecosystem, and the smart contract chain you build your own protocol on, like Ethereum. Totally different story. Like Ethereum projects are depending on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chains projects are depending on Binance, Solana, like we saw, Solana's projects are depending on Solana. This is not the case with the Cosmos ecosystem, from what I know. I don't think Luna is dependent to Cosmos at all, so it's different in that sense. Again, the way I see it is Cosmos is the tool set, so Luna is the product. They're not connected, but yeah. Anyways, you can
Yeah, I'll definitely have to do my research on that.
same.
Just to be sure on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to Cardano before we lose pace.
Yes. Okay. So, um, let me just get my breath here because it's gonna be. So yeah, Cardano is
It's emotional for you, right?
yes, it is. It is. I've known about Cardano for a long time, and I've seen interviews with its founder, Charles Hoskins, for a long time. And I was just telling Jerry this today. My vibe about him is I feel he is super fucking smart and charismatic in a certain
Somehow,
intellectual way. He's not the most beautiful guy. He's not, he's not Brad Pitt or anything. He's kind of geeky. I kind of like that. Who knows? But the thing is, I am not the most gullible guy. So when people come talk to me about the future of decentralization, I don't get wet. I don't, because I think there needs to be pragmatism. But this guy, oh my god, dude, this guy is like the future of the decentralization world in Africa. I'm like, yes, Africa. But no, the point is, yeah, this guy is a great storyteller. That's
yes,
definitely sure. And honestly, even objectively, this is massive for the coin. And I've seen him do interviews with guys who said this is the problem of Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, maybe some other chains, is that they do not have this main figure, which is the communicator and which is the man with the vision. And he's not wrong. He's super correct in this. Like Charles Hoskins for ADA is super important because he provides the vision, he provides the future we're aspiring for. So he's super important for the Cardano ecosystem. But yeah, nonetheless, I was telling Jerry he's either Elizabeth Holmes, which is the girl from Terranos, or Elon Musk, which people also some people think he's also a scam. So whatever. The point is they're super charismatic. They provide a vision about the future, which is super interesting. It's super positive. It just makes you feel good things. So that's definitely a plus, but it kind of rang my spidey sense because like, yeah, this is I don't know, man. I'm enjoying this a bit too much, you know.
probably.
But yeah, nonetheless, he's charismatic. He talks well. He's a great programmer, and I can tell he knows shit. He's not just wobbling. He knows his shit, and he's quite hands on. Okay, but he was obviously people like to call him Ethereum co-founder. I've seen some opinion that this is a wrong impression of the thing. He was an Ethereum partner, so he built Ethereum with 7 or 8 other guys, including
He was one
Vitalik
of
and
the
the guy
lead
from
devs,
Polka.
basically.
Yes, exactly. He was definitely important, but to call him a co-founder, maybe it's a bit too much. Maybe it's just a way to avoid explaining all this shit. Okay?
Yeah,
But the most important thing in here is that he had the experience of seeing what Bitcoin did and what Ethereum did. And basically, at some point, obviously, because some personal differences with the other team, he wasn't the only one. He was like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go build my own shit. Why? Because it's probably easier than trying to make all of you guys agree with my point of view or with the things I'm proposing. So he's like, I've seen what BTC did, what ETH does. I think I can do it better. And he started in 2017 to build this protocol. That's like the long story. So as things progressed, they started implementing some things into it. So first off, ADA is one of the most decentralized projects in the world in terms of staking nodes. I have a number here. They have like uh, I think I read something like 200,000, no, 608,000 staking wallets. So that's super decentralized. Like think about it.
yeah,
Currently,
but
600.
how do you determine decentralized? I don't understand what your or
Well,
how you determine.
it's because in proof of stake, centralization comes from staking. So if you have this, so you have staking pools in which people stake their money to, and those are the ones which confirm the transactions, and they have 2,500 of those. So basically, it's like if I'm an ADA holder, I can choose where I stake my assets. Like I've seen, for
Oh,
example, ADA
okay.
servers in Romania. So it's
Yeah.
decentralized in the sense that you have 2,500 possible nodes you can allocate your ADA to in order to stake transactions.
Yeah.
That's a
But,
lot.
I guess the thing that I didn't understand is you called it decentralized, the most decentralized. But then the question is, it's like, is it most decentralized just because of the number of the staking nodes, or decentralized because it's like they have different validators from different countries, and it's
It's the number of possible nodes of validators you have to,
but where are
and
they? Where are they?
everywhere,
Where are they
like
being staked? And
everywhere.
okay,
Like I
let's
told you,
say what's I mean, obviously you probably don't have this information off that,
I don't have it, but again,
but
I've
I would,
seen ADA networks from
because
Romania.
with Bitcoin, one of the issues was that most of their computers are set up in China, the computers that are doing the mining. So that pointed towards slight centralization in that aspect in terms of their mining. So I would be interested to hear what the case is with Cardano, for example.
But yes, this, and also another thing which makes it quite interesting is that 71% of all ADA is staked.
That was the most impressive thing that you told me.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
That makes it very
Now,
stable.
let me tell you something, and this, I think you should like this. In terms of decentralizations, they have a diminishing return algorithm for staking nodes. So there's a limit up to which you accept people. If you go over that limit, your rewards start to decline. So there's a built-in incentive to not have centralization. And honestly, in terms of what the crypto can do, that's fucking up there. Like,
Yeah,
if
in
you
terms
tell
of
the guy,
quality.
yeah, dude, that's pretty neat,
Yeah.
Anyways, uh, I'll just say this, and then I'll go to even more, not technical, but like factual stuff.
But
What's
it also speaks to the fact that 70% of all of Cardano's stake also speaks to the conviction that people have
Yes,
in
of course.
Cardano, and the commitment to sort of a long-term investment. It makes it less volatile, I'd imagine, as well.
Yes, and but listen, this all comes from the mindset. This is what I want to talk about. So Charles' mindset was, he's obviously a purely technical person, and what he did, he was like, I've seen where these guys failed. I know what the direction is. Actually, I have. He presented this a few years ago, which are the stages, and basically we are, I think, at the last, not the last one, the last before the last one. So he presented his plan and he's executing on it. So in terms of execution, dude, he's executing his plan. Anyways, his vision was, yes, everybody else does shit, and they do shit by trial and error, which can either be a super pragmatic and how should I say, hands-on approach, or it could just be stupid, because trying to fit things in fucking boxes until you find a box is not the smartest way to do things. What he does is he proposes academic projects, people write papers about them, and they obviously use peer review to select the best papers, and then those are the solutions that get implemented. What he did is he created research centers at multiple universities around the world, including America, including Japan, including Europe, and he has like research institutes there. And also, there are universities in America running Cardano staking pools, which is super, super interesting.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know that. Boy,
yes, dude. Yes. He's. If you ask me, as a programmer and like a science person, the fact that somebody would think, you know what, we're not in a hurry because we're not building a blockchain for today, we're building a blockchain for tomorrow. So I would much rather do 3 years worth of research by the best minds in the field. We will leave the science field open. You can come with an idea, you can prove it mathematically, and if it works, we will implement it. And this is the way we decide how we build our blockchain. Dude, this again, he's either he's either bullshitting or he's building the best blockchain in the world, honestly. Like having a project and research done for 3 years before or 5 years before starting to implement stuff is either the slowest fucking process in the world, which will leave you nowhere because you're not executing shit, or you truly are building the blockchain of tomorrow. So that's what I'm saying, dude. With ADA is either it's gonna fucking rule the world, or it's just gonna be way too slow to adapt to any trends in the market. Anyways, yes. So and again it just got founded in 2017, so it's a relatively new blockchain, and actually it's kind of small in the sense that there's only 200 active developers working on its Git compared to 600 something thousand on Ethereum, for example. So
Wow.
yeah, but this might be like a negative, but then again there are some interesting things here which I'm not sure they will resonate with you, but they resonated with me because I know some things about this. So the program they chose to write their blockchain in is called Haskell. It's a
Yes. It's up there.
functional.
It's up there with Rust, isn't it? In terms of very, very highly
Yes,
regarded programming languages.
yes, but it's a functional programming language, and I tried to learn functional programming, and well, I barely succeeded. But the thing is, it's a very beautiful way to write code. Basically, there are no errors. All the functions you write, they're pure. They cannot produce an error output, but that makes them very hard to write. Like seriously, like I write some code, I'm not sure if it's gonna compile and if it's gonna run. You cannot do that with a functional language. Like the compiler won't let you. He's like, yeah, this might cause an error. No can do, sir. Super
Damn,
interesting.
it won't
Yeah,
even
yeah, yeah.
glitch.
Yep, you can run it. So if it's not pure and it cannot lead to any errors, you cannot run it. But functional programming is one of the hardest shit ever. Like again, you need like I was at the course and they started talking about mathematical regression. I was like, what the fuck, dude? This shit, go away with this shit. I don't know about mathematical regression.
Did
Leave me
you
alone.
did you also hear about, not to deviate from the point that you're trying to make, but did you also hear that there's some programming languages that lend themselves to Web 3.0 more than, and also, sorry, there are Web 3.0. I mean, some programming languages that lend themselves to Web 2.0, so that they work better with sort of the traditional form on the internet, and therefore um, feel better when you use them. And Solana is on Rust, and Rust is supposed to be that programming language. So I
Yeah,
wonder if Haskell has this sort of thing that it's it's it works also with Web 2.0, so to say, in a better way than maybe other languages do.
I, I think it does. I think Haskell, from what I know, is quite similar with Rust. I actually did my functional programming in a flavor of Java. It's called Scala. But yeah, I haven't tried Haskell or Rust. But yeah, seriously, the experience with functional programming was quite gruesome. So I'm not sure if I want to repeat it. Maybe if I start actually doing blockchain development, maybe then I'll do some functional programming. But for example, doing a website in functional programming is it's just pain. It's just pain, nothing else. Yeah. So, anyways, um, yes. So another interesting tidbit about Cardano is every time a new Cardano is minted or rewarded, a part of that goes to the treasury, and
Nice.
projects which want to build on Cardano apply to the treasury, and the network votes on which project should get funding.
Nice.
Yes, so Charles Hoskins talks about, the pillars of Cardano and shit like that, and he obviously talks about decentralization, about governance. This is about, I'm not sure, I don't want to call it liquidity, but this is about money in the sense that you want the ecosystem to grow, and this treasury system is the way they do it. Which again, it just seemed like a super smart way to do it. And it's obviously you have governance, so staking nodes can vote on your behalf. Like if I stake my Cardano on a node, I basically give that node my voting power. So from that perspective, again, if I think the Romanian node it might have the best interests of myself, I will stake my Cardano in the Romanian node because I think I know what they might vote. That's interesting. So it has also decentralization governance built into it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, initially when he started, he talked about multiple eras. So we have Byron, Shelley, Gauguin, Basho, and Voltaire. Basically, we are currently in Gauguin era. I think the implementation of smart contracts is the end of Gauguin era. What comes next is the Basho era, which will see the Hydra system implemented. Pum, pum, pum. Yeah. Currently, Cardano doesn't do a lot of transactions per second. It's cheap, but it's like also I think it's
How
a few
many?
cents. I think it's upwards of 20 or 30 cents, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but I mean, how many transactions per second does it do?
260 up to I think like 260 I think is an average.
It's
So it's
not
not
bad.
bad. It's
Yeah.
not bad, but it's definitely not like a liquidity blockchain like
Yeah. Yes.
Solana, Luna, whatever the other ones, XRP,
And
Litecoin,
Luna's
whatever.
actually Luna's. I think they do 1,000 per second.
1,000 to 10,000. I said it, the other one.
Okay. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's not bad. Luna is also quite big. So yeah. Okay, so the thing with the Hydra is that they want, obviously, they did fucking research, go figure, and they found a way to actually allow each node to independently process transactions up to 1,000 transactions per node, which would take its current capacity over a million.
Hold on.
If
What? It would take it 1 million transactions per second.
Sorry. So
Whoa,
they
that
have
kind
run simulations that will allow each Hydra head, in which, in this case, we're talking about each staking node that is allowed this privilege to be a Hydra head, to process 1,000 transactions per second. And we currently have 2,500 nodes. So from that perspective, it could go up to 2.5 million potentially.
what?
Yes. But yeah,
Hold on. So what do they do when they get a bot attack or something like that?
I don't know, dude.
Solana had to shut down when they got 400,000 transactions
But
per
this
second.
is but yeah, but you have to again. I'm
If,
not sure
if
how
if it
Solana
gets
works.
too cheap, and too fast to be able to pass transactions through a network, they could get a DOS attack or a bot, any bot attack.
Maybe I don't know how they're planning to use security for this. But in
Okay.
terms of pure transaction per second, they have run simulations in which each head can do 1,000 transactions.
And when is this scheduled for?
This is the next step.
Yeah, but when is it scheduled for?
There's no schedule, dude. Like again, they have.
Approximately. Maybe like end
Huh?
of 2024, end of
I don't
2025.
know. I don't think they have a date for it, dude.
Yeah, this is
Again,
this is like some 2030 shit.
dude, the thing is, they have done the research, and these are based off simulations. So I think they already have a working prototype, or else there would be no simulations.
2.5 million transactions per second. You bugging out here.
I don't know, dude. But I think this is the same concept. I haven't looked super in depth, but I think it's the concept of sharding, of basically spreading the blockchain into smaller parts, and each part is like a shard, and each shard can do a part of the processing. I think Elrond also uses a sharding mechanism, which also allows it to do some tens of thousands of transactions per second. So I think this is sharding. But yeah, I'll have to dig more into it.
That
But
one
yeah,
had an incredible run recently.
yeah. So this is another thing. But this is the next step of development for Cardano. So it's scalability. So they have
Impressive.
And the last step, which is the Voltaire era, is what I said with the treasury system and governance,
Hmm.
with the implementation of the treasury and governance. But I
That,
again, dude, I think a good measure of a successful project is their game plan, and their their vision. And you can see this with Tesla. You can see this with a lot of innovative companies. It's This is like basically the thing where you do like mental projections of the future, like what you want for yourself, but at a company level. Once you have the plan and the idea and you know where you want to get, you're already there in terms of the way. It's much better than, I don't know, some. I'm not sure if all projects have this, but Cardano has done this, and again, they have been doing this for the past years since they got founded with this vision. And so far, they have respected the vision, which is, I think it's super cool.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, I'm definitely sold more than I was before for sure. And yeah, that whole your whole little speech definitely made me more bullish on Cardano. I definitely need to increase my exposure. In that regard.
So,
Yeah.
and another interesting stuff is I know you heard about this, and it's regarding Africa. So they have projects in Ethiopia and Tanzania. Basically, they want to provide digital identity on the Cardano blockchain, as well as some projects regarding education in I think it's in Ethiopia. I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Again,
I mean, Africa is the perfect sort of guinea pig in terms of what you can do with cryptocurrency. So I think it's a great place to do that. I even read a stat, and I'm not sure if this is completely accurate, but that apparently Africa bought 100 billion in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or something
mhm.
this year so far. Um, Obviously, in Nigeria, you have political conflicts and stuff like that, and that attracted a lot of people that bought Bitcoin. And in many different countries, I mean, you had Turkey recently, where Erdogan was like, "We're at war with cryptocurrency." Have you seen that?
I mean, in the past few months, not recently, more recently, right? Or
No, no, literally, like the other day, like a few days
oh,
ago.
I haven't. No, 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 I haven't.
Yeah, yeah. The president of Turkey came out
Yes,
and
yes.
said, "We're at war with cryptocurrency."
Obviously, because you can control it, right? So
Yes, hilarious. Meanwhile, you have the president of El Salvador telling people, have fun being broke. No, have fun staying poor. No, I think that was the response to the Turkish
really,
president. Yeah, I think the Turkish president made a statement saying, "We're at war with cryptocurrency," and then the El Salvadorian president,
dude,
"Have fun being poor."
such a fucking mad lad, dude. He's definitely a troll. Like, I'm
And he
not sure if they
showed,
make for good presidents, but
hey, they say the best form of government might be benevolent dictatorships. So who knows if this really turns things around for El Salvador, we will see. But I get the feeling it might, because a country that accepts Bitcoin means um, they also let go of their own country's money. That is a separation of money and the state. So you have to work way harder to prove yourself to the people when the money isn't um, as central as it was before to your
to
um,
to
politics.
be hugely honest, yeah, the currency in El Salvador was shit. So it only had some value inside of the country. It was
But it was also
worthless on the
relying.
global.
Yes, but it was also relying on the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying like it's not like they gave up the control of currency because it was useless. It was baseless almost. It was like a pseudo currency. Dollars was more important than their own currency. So they
Yes,
didn't give up that much. But yeah, okay, they did something. But yeah, let's not over
I would.
dramatize it.
No, I wouldn't. I would dramatize it actually, because there is no country in the world that has ever done that, and that is quite the thing to do for a country. You have Turkey where the lira lost maybe 80% of its yeah, probably no, sorry, 60, is it 40 to 60% or something like that in its value in the past decade or something. So to say that just because the currency itself is not that valuable, it makes sense why, or it wouldn't be such a big sacrifice to trade it against Bitcoin. I think that's a fallacy. I think it's actually the opposite. It's incredibly hard to make that decision, and to some even incredibly stupid to make that decision. I mean, even right now, to some, it is incredibly stupid. There's some currencies. I mean, Venezuela is. We know that it's been in a spiral for so long, and even they won't switch currency.
Yeah,
So I don't think I don't think just because a country's currency is doing bad, it would be a no-brainer to switch to Bitcoin, and it would be a little task.
yeah. Okay, okay. Anyways, regarding the whole thing with Cardano in Africa, I just wanted to say, remember when we had the discussion about altcoins, and you said nobody in Africa knows about other altcoins except Bitcoin? Well, the question is, what will happen once they start actually rolling out projects in Ethiopia and Tanzania with Cardano?
Oh yeah, I wasn't trying to belittle all altcoins, so to say, but I was
No,
saying
no,
like
but
the first thing that comes to mind is not necessarily Cardano or any other altcoin. It is Bitcoin.
yes, but
But
once they
but
start,
with that said, with Cardano having a head start in these different countries and having communication with the government directly, they obviously will have an advantage that Bitcoin doesn't have, because you don't have a spokesperson, so to say, or any
Jack
person.
Dorsey tries to do something, but yeah,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah. I guess you could say
tangible
Jack
yet.
Dorsey is the unofficial is the
But but
unofficial
yeah,
person.
but yeah, just in terms of visibility, dude, like seeing Cardano, the blockchain, the brand, the whatever, will do a lot for the visibility of Cardano, especially in Africa.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree. And I like the projects that they're doing with schools and stuff like that as well, and micropayments there and stuff like that. So
One more thing I forgot to say about Luna is, and it's more newsy, but it might be relevant for anybody thinking about investing. First off, it's it's recently a bit down with the downtrend in the crypto market. I personally bought some, but also they're expecting an update of their blockchain, which is
yes,
called what was it called? Columbus
Columbus,
5.
Columbus, my
Yeah.
bad.
Yes. So, and basically, what they're gonna do is they're gonna burn some already existing seigniorage in the Luna ecosystem, and basically they will give liquidity rewards to swap providers, to liquidity providers. So they're gonna do some quality of life improvements for the Luna ecosystem, which will be super good. Just wanted
Yeah,
to say that. So I
yeah,
think
and go ahead.
Terra is about to enter in a positive slash bullish territory.
Yeah, I think more and more eyes are turning onto Terra now, and I think it can very much be a contender for like a fifth place, where you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and Terra potentially. I think I'm missing out one of the biggest probably, but those are all the
Binance.
ones I'm aware. Oh shit, yeah, Binance. Um, is that
Yeah.
actually the ranking? Um,
I think Binance is third or fourth. I'm not sure if ADA overtook it. I think they're always swapping places now.
okay, because
Oh,
I thought
it's
Ada
it's
was third.
BTC, it's
Right?
BTC, Ethereum, ADA, USDT, Binance, XRP, Solana.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah,
Well,
yeah, Binance has been up to the third place anyways. But yeah, it's obviously fluctuating.
yeah. The other thing also important for Luna is that they're doing an airdrop. But to be fair, if you haven't been
Yeah.
delegating or staking on Luna yet, there's a low likelihood that you'll get it. I'm not even sure if I'll get it. I did a mistake when I tried to delegate some more into Luna. I tried to delegate from others into Luna and accidentally delegated out of it. Because just for anybody listening, there are staking options on the Luna platform station, Terra station is called, and there's different validators, and you choose your validator however you see fit. But one validator is really interesting. It's called Money, and they do this validating thing on different blockchains. But I think it was started on Terra, and they are now releasing their own coin, and they're giving this to everybody that has been staking on Luna, but particularly has been staking through their validator, Money.
Yes.
Obviously, when I saw this, I was excited because I was like, yeah, like finally, like a good airdrop that I was sort of early on. But my mistake was that I went back and looked at how much Orion I was staking, and accidentally sort of unstaked it,
Yeah.
and then and but they already did the snapshot. So while I was staking it, so I probably am still eligible. They do a snapshot of the ecosystem and see how much everybody had, and
Cool. Cool.
determine that way how much they then allocate or who they allocate to. So I might be okay even though I unstaked it recently.
Cool. Cool.
And I restaked some more recently, but
Nice.
yeah, I'm pretty annoyed. You were smart actually because you were staking on Money, well, quite a bit of it from the beginning, right? What made you make that decision actually? Because I had them, but my strategy was more spread out. Like I'm spread out between like five or so validators.
I, I'm not sure exactly. I think there are some criteria there with the return rate, with the voting power, and the fees. And I think I might have even done a searching for which are the best validators for Solana for Luna, and I think they were among the top three. So basically, I initially added some Luna to all of them, and then I added some more Luna, and then I put all of them in Orion Money. Maybe I have seen some news about this before it happened, or some rumors, and I did it. I'm
So
not sure though.
it was just luck.
Well, I mean, from this perspective, validator nodes, again, there's not much they can do. They have a fee, they have a reward rate, and they have voting power. And okay, how much money they already have staked into them? Like, there's no other tips to invest, or maybe if you know the project or the team behind it, maybe yeah. But no,
Yeah,
nothing super complex.
yeah.
I just heard they were a good validator, basically.
So just in closing, I guess we can discuss Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, going to um, testify at Congress about the SEC's plans to regulate cryptocurrency. Obviously, this
Yeah.
is a really complicated thing to do. They cannot regulate currency. I mean, it's not possible. What they can do, however, is give subpoenas and a bunch of regulatory tricks and stuff like that to punish owners and people in the company for continuing to run a service without registering it as a security or not doing proper audits and so forth. So that's something they can do. But to affect the coin itself, they cannot actually really enforce it.
Yeah.
So that's what's interesting. And I think the thing that Gary Gensler is trying to do, and I will pull up Raul who I
All.
forgot his last name, Ragul Powell, yes, from Real Vision, which is a great, by the way, great resource for anything stocks and crypto related. Like they're top of the top. And he was like an ex Goldman Sachs hedge fund manager and shit like that. But he's very open minded to crypto, and he gave a long thread on his thoughts on the hearing, and it's mostly bullish actually. He thinks that Gary Gensler is sort of bringing this attitude of um, having sort of a strong ask in negotiation, and then later um, sort of find a middle ground. And he was giving a very bold statement that all of the cryptocurrencies will have to register as securities, and that's his stance.
The thing is, I from this point of view, I'm not sure. I think it might have been Charles Hoskins, but maybe it was some other interview I listened to these days. Basically, they were saying that people always think that in order to fix things, you need to burn the old system down and build a new one. But most of the times, that's not how systems get improved. You just need to fucking improve them, you know? You just need to make these changes. Like, okay, yeah, hypothetically, utopically, we all could build a better system, but there's no building a new system. The best you can do is change the existing one. So, from this perspective, I think uh, the regulation of the cryptos, whatever that means, is a fucking Trojan horse. Like,
I,
once you,
you know what? Like, sorry to interrupt you, but I
yeah,
think this is very bullish for Bitcoin. And I saw a tweet going, um, 13 years later, uh, cryptocurrency founders find out why Satoshi decided to be anonymous. Perfect.
yeah,
This is incredibly bullish for Bitcoin. And this is the point. Bitcoin is the only coin then that cannot be registered as a security because there is no contact person.
Oh,
you,
but
you,
that's not true, dude. You
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 cannot
can
really.
sanction the companies. Oh, that work with
Oh, yeah,
Bitcoin.
you can.
You can sanction Square. You can sanction Twitter. You can censor all the public companies that have any sort of of relevance in the U.S. and it's dead. Like you can
No.
attack Coinbase. You can attack all the centralized
No,
exchanges
no.
and make them not trade Bitcoin.
Yes,
And
you can.
it's bye bye.
Yes, you can, but only for the US.
Yeah, still the U.S. is a fucking huge market, dude.
Yes, of course, but it's only for the US. And why would
But
they
the
do
other
that?
governments will do the same, dude.
No, they won't. I'll tell you
Why
why, okay?
not?
I'll tell you
Why?
why. I'll tell
Why?
you why the US, first of all, won't do it, right? The US, first of all, won't do it because all of these like incredibly big investment funds, like BlackRock, like Vanguard, like Van Eck, whatever, they're already invested in Bitcoin. I think what's actually going to happen is everybody will, or all of these companies will, to some degree, have to register as securities. Yes, they will have to register as securities, but Bitcoin will be the only one that will be exempt to a certain degree because there is nobody that you can actually give a subpoena to except for the companies that are doing that are building products on top of it.
Exactly.
And but I don't even think they will. Like Bitcoin will be accepted as some form of asset class that is different from all of the other coins, simply because the founder is anonymous. I think that's. I think that's.
I
I think
disagree.
I
But
think the likelihood that the US will shoot themselves in the foot to such a degree where they will where they will tell Twitter that they're not allowed to use Bitcoin unless I don't know, accept it as some form of security or whatever. That doesn't make any sense. The only thing they can do is shut down mining companies in the US and give everybody a punishment that decides to use Bitcoin in any shape or form in the US. And I think the chance of that is slim because the entire DeFi industry, all of that is pegged to some degree to Bitcoin. Bitcoin always leads the out season, leads before the out seasons then come in. That has usually
right,
been the case. I think if Bitcoin goes to zero, you would also have to say that the others will go to zero.
I disagree. But okay,
So you think I think we should do a bet.
regarding
I think the likelihood of Bitcoin staying for another 10 years is more likely than say 90% of the outstaying the next 10 years?
I
Oh,
don't
actually,
think
no.
Bitcoin.
Let's do a different bet. Let's do a different bet. Let's do a bet that Bitcoin won't be registered
The
as
number one.
security.
No, but dude, no, I don't want to do that bet because there can be a million things they can classify it at, not necessarily as a security. But I
The
can do.
security is the main sort of sticking point right now.
I am willing to do a bet with you that Bitcoin will not be the biggest cryptocurrency in the world in 10 years.
Let's do that bet.
Let's do that bet.
Let's do that bet.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm setting myself the alarm on my phone.
Don't you have some sophisticated Apple notification Siri? Call me in 10 years if Adrian is wrong.
Oh, let me do this. Hey Siri, set a calendar reminder to ask Adi whether or not Bitcoin will be the biggest currency in the world in 10 years.
Okay, your reminder is set for the 22nd of September, 2031.
Nice.
Ask Adi whether or not Bitcoin will be the biggest currency in the world. There we go.
Cool.
You heard that 22nd of September 2031.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note,
Hopefully we don't die until then.
yes. Until then, thanks for listening and have a lovely day. Continue being legalized robbers. Peace.
Bye bye.
Nobody move and nobody gets hurt. This is a stick up by Jerry and Adrian, the Legalized Robbery podcast.